Geoff buys cars. A couple of things I want to talk about. We'll wait for a few people to join before we get into it, but there's a funny article from GB News that I want to talk about, and there's something funny that's gone on with York with some buses, so we'll talk about that. But generally, this is a bit of a general Friday Live. I also want to mention what happened when I posted 10 videos in a row, dumped them all on YouTube at the same time. I've got some statistics on that. So we'll wait for a few people to join the live feed before we crack on, basically. How are you? How's things where you are? We're in today 5 of absolutely, completely unbroken grey sky here in Worcestershire. Very, very strange weather indeed, but you're not really allowed to talk about that anymore, are you? Nobody seems to be allowed to talk about it, although it's forecast to be 25 degrees today, 25 degrees without a break in the sky. Good morning, everybody. We're starting to get some comments in now. Good morning, Not Very Smart. Good morning, Anonymous Waz, AMD, Jason Charlton, James Smith. T5 engines rule. Nice one, James. I'm in the Saab today. This is the 2.3 Aero Turbo. Shootable of 150 miles an hour, but I haven't had a chance to find out yet. I haven't really driven it far yet at all. Good morning, everybody. Greetings from wherever you are. If you've just missed the intro, this is basically just a general Friday chat. A couple of things that I want to talk about, articles I want to go over, and then I want to talk about what happened when I posted 10 videos in a row yesterday. So let's dive straight. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Have you caught chemtrails as well? I'm naughty, I'm very achy, and I can't stop sneezing. So, sneeze. That explains why yesterday I decided to post 10 shorter videos instead of posting one longer one, because I couldn't get through a video without my nose or sneezing or something happening. It was ridiculous. So if any of the videos yesterday felt like they were cut short, it's because I was just under the weather. The Mac Master, morning. Mac Master, you're off flying somewhere, aren't you? Do you fly today? I can't remember what you said. So, yeah. Everybody seems to be ill, and it's mostly because of the weather. Right, I want to this morning address this article. Petrol and diesel. This is from GB News, right? Let me show you this. You know, just sometimes you see a headline and you actually kill yourself laughing, right? Check this out. I'll find it for you if I can. Is there a way for me to show this to you without taking all my internet? There we go. Right, let's full screen that. Look, this is the article I want to talk about today. Read that. Petrol and drivers crave electric car switch to save £1,000 a year on running costs of fuel. Can you believe that this is the propaganda that GB News are now putting out? I'll read the article to you. Half of Britons who own petrol and diesel cars want to switch to electric vehicles because of the cheaper running costs, according to new research. Petrol and diesel drivers are slowly getting used to huge prices at the pump, which has prompted many to switch to electric. Now, what's interesting is this article goes on to say that the price of fuel is actually coming down, and the only reason people are looking to switch is if they could charge at home on an Octopus Go tariff. So basically, this is a paid propaganda piece. It's a paid piece of marketing that's been put out by G News and has been paid for by Octopus. But the title, petrol and diesel drivers crave electric cars and 50% of drivers want to knock us the costs. How misleading is that? It's total balls. Hilarious. As I said, Matt Master and I, we've now done 4 of these challenges, and I'm £11,000 and 18 of the electric vehicle in my various diesel and petrol cars. So GB's putting out absolute rubbish, but I just thought that was hilarious. I saw that this morning and I just, no way, how can they possibly be saying it? And it wasn't until I read the article that I realised it was basically just an advert for Octopus Energy. Electric cars are fine. Like, if your electric car was paid for by someone else and you can charge at home on a low rate tariff, knock yourself out. But be wary that your car is constantly monitoring everything that you do. This is the thing, innit? Yeah, it's getting frustrating now. Second thing, before I talk about the latest Joe Rogan podcast, I've decided to do videos live. Well, because I keep trying to film videos, and I get halfway through and I fluff my words and I can't get my brain in gear. So I just thought, you know what? I'll just do live broadcasts for a bit whilst I try and sort myself out. Next one, and this is hilarious. This is in York. Someone's emailed me this morning. Full stop, capital letter, new paragraph. Brightspark approves new single-decker buses that are too tall to drive under bridge. The launch of a brand new electric bus has been marred by disappointment as they're too tall to drive under a bridge in York. That's everything you need to know about that article. Basically, up in York, they've replaced a load of normal diesel buses and they've gone, oh, we should go electric for the new fleet. And the new electric buses, massive battery on the roof, and as a result, the electric buses are too tall to do the bus route. It's ridiculous. So someone has signed off on new buses for this route in York without checking the height of the vehicle. So they're either going to have to get rid of the new electric buses, which you know will have cost twice as much as the diesel buses, and they're either going to have to change the route or they're going to have to change the buses. Absolute insanity. Yet more money being wasted on this mythical quest for net zero. Right, last one before we do some general chat. I've just started watching it, so I haven't got all the way through it yet. But Chris Harris has been on the Joe Rogan show to talk about what happened with Top Gear, what happened with the Freddie Flintoff crash, and what's happened with electric cars. There's the Mac Master, actually, that messaged me this morning about this Joe Rogan podcast. And it's well worth a watch. It's a very, very good podcast where he's talking about all the pressures that came from the BBC. And I think, if Lee is correct in what he said, as I said, I've yet to listen to the whole podcast, but basically Chris Harris reckons that this is going to go on until someone gets killed. So there's going to be someone that is saying too much about electric cars, and they're just going to be wiped out. That's going to get to. We're all going to get silenced because of it. So, Matt Master, where are you flying? Just check the hold. And make sure security double check everything that's going on that plane. You are number one on their hit list. So that's it. That's 2 articles for this morning and a little chat about the Chris Harris podcast. How are we all? How's everyone doing? Are you one of the 50% of drivers that is going to be dragged over to EV? The Mac Master is flying to NYC, off to New York, which is cool because, I mean, it's got to be better than the weather that we're getting here. Through all the seeded clouds. Every time the Mac Master flies somewhere, he has to send me a video when he comes back down through the normal cloud, through the fake clouds. It's quite funny. But people are starting to see it now. And I've posted on my Facebook this morning saying who else has had 5 days of thick grey and who else is aching, snotty, sneezing uncontrollably. And, you know, it's not hay fever. It's not allergies. There's something going on. So, signal poor dude. See worse. Right, let me turn my Wi-Fi off. The signal might get better. Hang on. And is that better? I didn't realise that the quality was bad. It's getting really, really difficult for me to live broadcast from my phone anywhere. Wherever I go, I cannot seem to get a decent signal that stays long enough for me to broadcast. Oh, I'm getting WhatsApps from the gentleman that sold me the Peugeot 405. Wonder if he's offering me another car. So is the signal better now? Are we better? Someone says they think they got monkeypox. Excellent. Phone signal in general is horrendous. Yes, it is. I did a video with Richard from Challenge the Road, who knows all of signal, and even Richard doesn't have any answers. Richard works in mobile phones for a living, and he doesn't have any answers to the fact that our signal is awful all the time there. I'm finding it completely debilitating. I've said this before. I don't have Wi-Fi at home where we are, and we started shopping around for some Wi-Fi the other day. Where we live at the minute, we are in a complete internet and mobile phone black spot, which might sound like a really good thing, but I can't get anything done at the house. So I'm constantly out and about going to coffee shops and spending money elsewhere. This morning, I've been looking for a camper van, partly because I want to escape this godforsaken country, but also I'd really like to have an actual base where I film my videos. So I'm thinking if I get a camper van, it could be a mobile studio, and I could go out and I could make myself teas and coffees and I could film in the camper van and have like a more permanent Geoff base and maybe invite people in to do podcasts as well. So I'm shopping for a cheap camper. But the problem as well with shopping for a cheap camper van is all the listings on Facebook Marketplace are scams. Poor signal, sir. You need 5G. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work anywhere. Friends and relatives asking me all the time which network is best. All seem to be struggling. Someone says don't buy a Talbot. Why? Is that just because of rust? If you buy one that's not rusty, you should be okay. I have looked at Starlink as well. Is it what, 50 to 70 a month, something like that? It's not cheap, is it? So that could be an option. I don't know. It's getting to the stage though, because I mean this is what I do for a living. The internet thing is so debilitating. It's going to be worth me paying for Starlink, and then maybe I can review it and tell you all how you go. I'm on a 5G, what was that one? 5G, brand new Samsung Live in a city, and I live in a city and the signal's terrible. David Harris, I haven't been watching you long, totally agree with your views. Thank you, David, and welcome to the chaos. James is watching Newmarket. How about burning, watering eyes and sneezing for 2 months straight? Granted, the corn and ragweed are in full swing, but I've never experienced this before. Isaac, I'm exactly the same. I'll have a sneeze that is like totally the most explosive, uncontrollable sneeze ever, where like my whole body spasms. And it's in line with the weather. It's not hay fever. So I don't know, but it's not everybody's affected by it. You know, my wife isn't sneezing uncontrollably as well. Like I said, I've really struggled to make content this week because I can't make a great video because my voice sounds crazy and then I'm sneezing in the middle of it, which again is why I knocked out 10 videos yesterday. Andrew, you're going off again. I can't do anything. I'm sat here in the middle of a town and the signal's coming and going. The only reason that the signal can be coming and going is because the clouds are coming and going and the clouds are full of metal. It's got to be it. It has to be it. Sneezing is very cathartic. Don't they say a sneeze is a third or a tenth of an orgasm? Starlink has been fantastic for the last 3 years in comparison with mobile internet. Okay, thank you. That seals it for me. I'm going to sign up for it. I'm going to get Starlink. We're going to do it. We're going to see what happens. You did those 10 videos and I get a single notification telling me you uploaded any. Yeah, I did. I spammed everybody's feeds. That's what everybody was saying, right? But let me talk you through this, right? This is what happens when you upload 10 videos to YouTube. So I did the numbers this morning. So I put 10 videos out. They were all short. Any of them were long enough to have an advert in the middle. So it's 10 short videos, which, going off the comments, that's what people tell me they like. They like the shorter videos. They like nappy. The first one went up. It had 46% fewer views than normal. Only 826 views from subscribers. And the first video gained me subscribers. But the second video lost me 4 subscribers, 3. The fourth video was 0, and then we had a -7. So overall, the viewer 46% lower, 67% lower, 79% lower, 76% lower, 83% lower, 83% again, and 85% lower. So all of these videos actually bombed. The net result was 66,000 views across 10 videos, so an average of about 6,000 each. And my net total subscriber gain on those 10 videos, so on 10 videos and 66,000 views, I gained 7 subscribers. That was it. That was the lot. So basically, will I be loading 10 videos all at once again? No. It was an absolute commercial failure, but I quite enjoyed doing it. The revenue on those videos, as I've been saying for a few, weeks and months now, the revenue on YouTube has gone down absolutely massively. Most of us YouTubers are now earning a third of what we were earning this time last year. The revenue's absolutely gone through the floor. So, yeah, revenue on 10 videos, 66,000 views. It's just going to be negative, basically. Hold your horses, Geoff. I was watching 5 of 10 when you went live, so I hopped over. I'll be going for the rest. Thank you. And I appreciate that some of them were better videos than others, but that was also part of my experiment. Because the thing is, I get sent stuff like all day, every day. I'm on Facebook looking at articles. There's different things that come up. And there's so many times where I grab an article and I copy out a URL and I think, right, I need to make a video about that. And then they just accumulate because there's so many subjects to cover. So that's why I thought what I'd do is I'll just smash out 10 in a row and then people get to news, don't they? So that was why I tried that. But it's interesting seeing people in the comments saying that they want videos over 10 minutes. I am going to work on... I've got some slightly different car stuff coming up that I'm looking forward to editing that takes a lot more editing. I really enjoy that sort of stuff. But it just doesn't pay anymore. It just doesn't pay. So the days when I would spend all day editing a video to then put it online and get some views, like those days are long gone. And now, like if you think about being a YouTuber, someone said this to me the other day. I had a friend get in touch and say, do you know what? He's got a valeting business. And he said to me, do you know what? What I'd love to do is just make YouTube video, do a YouTube video, do all the valeting for free and just put it on YouTube. And I said to him, yeah, that's great. That's a great idea. But you need to video every day that hits 100,000 views to make it worthwhile. Because if you're not doing 100,000 views every day, you're gonna have to go get a real job. That's where YouTube's at. Master and I message back and forth about it all the time, just saying what is going on. You know, you'll put out pretty much exactly the same video that you did last year, very similar style content, very similar subject, similar length, and you're earning an absolute fraction of what you used to earn. I don't know. You know, my approach to it, as I said, is try and work a bit smarter, try and make my videos easier to, you know, I've been putting videos out unedited, try and get more content out and just try different things. So that's the way I'm looking at it. You've got to roll with it. See what I did there? There's a Hyundai Ioniq in front of me, one of the really ugly ones that looks like a slug. But I mean, at least it looks different. Any luck on getting a Lotus Carlton for the day? No. It would be fun to get a Lotus Carlton for the day. I was meant to test drive a Kia EV9 on Wednesday, but I forgot. And yeah, just tracking back up the comments there, the fact that advertisers are not spending money on YouTube does mean a lot more than you know, Mrs. Geoff not having a chauffeur. It does mean that there's less money around and that there's less money in the economy and that things are really bleak. I don't think people realise like where we're at in terms of the economy. I don't understand how people are able to just like carry on and keep going and like honestly the conversations that we're having at home at the moment, just like what is everybody doing? You know, even if we stay in this country, what does the future look like for the kids? You know, we drop my eldest has just started secondary school. We dropped him to school this morning, and another kid had just been punched in the face. And I don't know whether he hit the ground or what, but like a kid's walking along the street. He looks like he's in like year 8, year 9, and all his head's bleeding. Like what? Like we live in like sleepy rural Worcestershire. So what does? And I think as well, we're really quite heavily insulated from what's actually going on in the world. We're really insulated from what's going on in the bigger cities and in the cities that have, you know, a lot more migration. How bad must they be right now? If I'm sending my school in sleepy Worcestershire and someone's getting punched in the face in the street, what kind of message does this send to the kids? What kind of future does this give them? You know, let's say the world doesn't completely collapse. In 5 years to finish your secondary school, what jobs are going to be out there? Get your kids out of school, you aren't bringing them up, the government are. I know, but I don't like my kids enough to have them around me all the time. And it doesn't do them any good to be around like us all the time. It, you know, really, it's really, really difficult. I admire these families that are able to take their kids out of school and homeschool them and turn them into the best children ever. And they're all wild and they're running free on a farm. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds fantastic. But realistically, we live in a little house and it rains all the time. I would like to get out of the country as soon as possible. But even then, like, where do you go? Where do you go? You can't go to Portugal. Portugal's knackered. So there's something on, was it Twitter or Facebook the other day? There's a family that owns a home in Portugal that was taken over by migrants with machetes. And the police just said nothing we can do about it. It's a civil matter. They took the house by force. Same thing going on in the USA. Have you seen about these Venezuelan gangs in the USA right now? They took over an apartment block. They took over a whole apartment block. Because what Venezuela have done is they've taken their worst criminals and they've just sent them to the border. And they've all gone into the USA. And these Venezuelan gangs have now taken over whole apartments in, is it Denver? Colorado, maybe? And again, the police didn't turn up for 2 hours. And then they sent 3 officers who couldn't do anything. Well, by that point, it was too late. Because all of these Venezuelan gang members with guns had taken an apartment block, a whole apartment block. Justice there says, don't come to Australia. I'm leaving, it's the worst. So Australia's out. New Zealand, we saw from the pandemic, the way they behave. A lot of people in Poland as well. But again, I've had someone in the comments saying, Geoff, I'm married to a Polish woman. And even I am struggling with getting into Poland properly. Annie Red says, just finished 10 out of 10. And what? And I've rewound the live. Phew. Yeah, fair bit of content this week. Bulgaria could be good. There's a YouTube channel of a couple that have just sold up and moved to Bulgaria. So that could work. I said to Mrs. Geoff this morning, like we've done 3 days of school run. We've now got a really long school run to 2 different schools. And under this weather, I just said, like, I don't know how long I can do it. So yeah, very conversations need to be having. Iceland need people. Oh, I'd move to Iceland tomorrow. I know it's cold there, but it's absolutely beautiful in Iceland. Vietnam, Mexico, and I've heard Colombia as well. Those could be good. Should we talk about cars? Let's have a chat about cars. Someone up there said, is the BMW X5 running well? There's an update to be said about the BMW X5 because I sold it. And the other day, I texted the guy I sold it to on the off chance that I might be able to buy it back because I was sorting it. And it had been, I think, 6 months since I spoke to him. And in the time since me selling it and me texting him, basically everything on that BMW X5 broke. I felt so bad for the guy. And he's fixed it all, to be fair. The car's still on the road and it's still running well. And he's doing his best to get it to 200 and... I think he said the moon. So he's trying to get it to moon mileage. And yeah, but unfortunately, not long after I sold that car, everything just started to go wrong with it. So that's the BMW X5. I'm in the Saab at the moment. I'm determined to get the car to 150 miles an hour, which is going to mean a trip to Germany, obviously. Right, JDM Joe, on the RAC thing... The RAC have put out a press release today saying that their words have been taken out of context. I might make a video on that just to clarify it. I might do that next because, yeah, I've switched my internet off over there. They've basically put out a statement saying that's not what we meant. And that's quite interesting because it means that the UK media deliberately took their word context in order to achieve their aim. So that means the UK media has an agenda, which we'll anyway. But the point is that that's what was done. So yeah, so the RAC and the thing I put on my Facebook and my Twitter said the RAC has called for paper mail, but that's not what the RAC has said. So I will clarify that. I will make a video about. What was that question there? What's your opinion on if my phone's a bit wobbly? It's because I haven't got my phone mount with me. I left that in the other car, and my phone is actually balanced empty box of celebrations, which is quite hilarious. Where was the question? What's your opinion on the future of diesel vehicles? Well, diesel vehicles are just superior, aren't they? That's the thing. I mean, look at the Peugeot 405 that I'm running around in. It did 51 miles to the gallon, even with a trailer full of all our camping gear and all the bikes, and it just works. And it's simple. It's absolutely so simple. And yet now we've got cars that are overcomplicated, that are expensive to run as a result of that. So the other side of that is, you know, I was listening to the Joe Rogan and Chris Harris podcast this morning, and he was talking about seeing black smog coming out the back of a diesel car. The other side of that, and please do correct me if I'm wrong here, with a diesel car, when it's kicking all of the smoke out the back, that is visible particulates, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but that means the particulates are a larger size, which means they're actually less harmful to the human body. Because what is more harmful is the much smaller particulates that come out of the modern vehicles after they've gone through all the exhaust circulation and the diesel particulate filters and all that sort of stuff. It means the stuff that's coming out the back of the car is more harmful. Today I'm doing 15 to 20 frames per second. I didn't realise the feed was that bad quality. It's incredibly frustrating because I've broadcast from here before. And I had this conversation with EE every time I phone them. At my house, I used to be able to upload, I used to be able to have a video on my computer, connect to my phone via the hotspot, and then upload the video. But I now can't do that. It doesn't work. So what have EE done in the last 12 months? Which have impacted the signal because I'm using the same phone and everything is worse. So, yeah, incredibly frustrating. Geoff, having a mobile studio, I recommend CCRV UK. Yeah, but I don't have much money and I don't spend much money. I'm thinking like a £3,000 Talbot camper van is what I'm going to be after. This guy's parked so close to my car, he's not going to be able to get out. Intermittently dropping frame rate, but generally okay. Update on RS6. RS6. I don't own an RS6. What phone am I using? It's an iPhone 13 mini, so it is an older phone, but it's never one. I don't want a new phone. I haven't had a car for 14 months, tried to get one recently, but needed £1,600 to put a 24-year-old car on the road. I can't afford it in a village. Yeah, cost of motoring is getting insane. So we'll see. We'll see what happens next. It's not just EE, Geoff. All seem the same. Removal of 3G is the cause. Many are saying, yeah, you're right. That's exactly it. That is how he's an employee. I thought he was going over to another car that he got parked over here. Sell all your cars and your firstborn, Geoff, and buy a Sprinter camper. That could be a good shout. Right, battery's going on my phone now. So yeah, there we're at. That is Friday. Diesels are cleaner than petrol. You cannot top yourself out of diesel because of this and rain and wind clean air. Are you sure it's not Apple that are downgrading your phone? It could be. We bought our first house in Wagga Wagga for 2,000. It's now worth over 400,000, which is all well and good. Like that, that's great for you. But like with the generation coming through, they then can't get on the housing ladder because the price has gone up so much. Last chance saloon for cheap cars are salvage auctions. Sooner or later, they'll run dry. You can get older cars for peanuts. Yeah, but I mean, they're just going to price older cars off the road, aren't they? It's already happened. So I don't buy anything that's newer than 2005. Because in 2006, the new tax brackets come in. So this car that I'm sitting in right now is a 2.3 petrol turbo. It's a 2003. If this car was the 2007, the exact same car with the exact same engine, you're talking £700 to tax it for the year. In a car that's worth 1,200 quid, it's going to be paying £700-800 road tax on a £1,000 car. They're not. They're just going to get scrapped. So all of these perfectly good older cars are going to get taken off the road. No claims means nothing. My insurance went up nearly 50 last year. Another great example. 2008 2.2 TDI Mondeo, great car. £800 for that. Goodbye if it's not damaged. This is pre-2006. This one's a 2003. This is the last really good Saab 9.5 Aeros. Yes, it's a bit rough around the edges, but it's a manual gearbox car that should do 160 miles an hour. Right, I have got as well, if I could post it in the comments, if I can work out how to do this, there's a Geoffle going on right now where you can win this car for 10 quid. 567 people watching right now. There's only 118 entries left. So if I post up the link and you all buy one, then we can do the draw and someone can win this. After I've tried to get it to 150 mile an hour, of course. Let me see if I can find the link and I'll post it up in the chat. Hang on a second while I do that. Have to jump on the internet to do that. Voltan. I had a 2004 Doblo wheelchair car. Excellent camper. That would make an excellent camper, actually. So where do I find the link? Hang on a second. There, not there, not there. Oh, I might have deleted it. Right, hang on a second while I find the link for you all. Just talk amongst yourselves. Why do I make life so difficult for myself? It's a sort of question that my wife always asks me. Off that one. I'll find it in a minute. Oh, I might buy a new desk later today, actually. I really need I've got a stand-up desk, but I really need a smaller one. It's just far too large. Oh, there's only 99 left on the Geoffle. So there you go. 565 people watching me live, and there's only 99 left for the car. Oh, hang on. Funky Prepper is live right now as well. Didn't know that. I wouldn't have gone live if I'd known Funky Prepper was live as well. I really need to do a video with Funky Prepper. Interestingly, mine didn't show that I was live, which is cheeky. How do I join the live chat? There we go. Right. Link. There you go. The link is now up. Did that work? I hope that worked. There you go. There is the link. That is the link that you need to get yourself a Geoff car for 10 quid. Interloper says, I'll be entering this one. I need to replace an arch on my BN40, so I need another car. There's no way I'm using my E30 this winter. Yeah, because they just get destroyed. Is the car you are in Euro 6? I highly doubt it because it's an older one. Craig, do you fancy Geoffling my XC70? Great car. He doesn't like it. Send me an email over, possibly Craig, geoffbuyscars@gmail.com. I will do a new website for the Geoffles. I just haven't got around to doing it yet. My old Escort feels and sounds like it's being driven by a wanking skeleton with Parkinson's over 120 mile an hour. Nothing wrong with that. If you're going over 120 miles, that's fine. If you want to go to Portugal, go to Madeira. No refugees there because it is in the Atlantic. No boats go over there. Been there lots and lots of times. Great place, great people. That is a really good bit of advice. Geoff, no autos. Yes, Dale, the V70D5, that one's automatic. What was that about Australia? Come to Australia, my home went up in the last 5 years. We own 2 houses in Wagga Wagga. Can I have one of them? Send me an email, Les. I'd love to come and visit. Isef says, hey, Geoff, you're a top bloke. Funny. Oh, thanks for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, Dale, so the cars in the Geoffle that are coming up is this one. This is the Saab. I got a really nice Volvo 850, a low mileage one, but that's a petrol manual that I bought yesterday. There is Steve's Audi TT and my Volvo 70 D5 automatic. I've not done a video on that one yet because I haven't got it. It's with a friend of mine. And what's the 5th car? Oh yeah, a Mercedes CLK automatic. It just completely stopped. It just stopped and said no internet. It just stopped completely and said no internet. I just checked on my phone, 5G with every single bar. Every single. Can't buy a home on the Isle of Man unless you were born there. See, that's good. Yeah. Really frustrating. Look at that. We lost 100 people because the internet just dropped out and I haven't moved. Did you give away that free Saab 2 weeks ago? Yes, I did. I did give away a free Saab. Let me talk about that. Good idea. I got given a Saab for free and I decided to try and do something good with it. So what I did was I made a video and I said, your car, please get in touch. So I could try and give it away to someone really honest who needed it. But that turned out to be a really bad idea because I just got hundreds and hundreds of really depressing emails. It was a really, considering giving away a car should have been a really nice thing to go through, it just really wasn't. It was really horrible because what it did is it made me realize just how many people there are that need a bit of help. You know, I got a poxy little YouTube channel and I got an old Saab that not everybody wants. And I got 150 emails and every single one of them were well-deserving sob story. And it was really sad. It was really sad. It really wiped me out. So I went through all the emails to try and choose a deserving person. And we chose someone. It was actually, I chose someone who had nominated their friend, which I thought was really sweet. This person had said, look, you know, this is my mate. This is what's happened to him. This is where he's at now. And this is why it'll make a difference. And I won't go into too many details, but amongst other things, this person who got the car, they'd lost a child not too long ago. And this chap was just, you know, the world had just hit him for 6 in various different ways. And just like, do you know what? That's great. You can have the car. And but then I just, like, the whole thing just wiped me out. It really did. It wiped me out. So then they were like, okay, when can we get the car? I was like, whenever you want. You know, I don't want a big handover. I don't want to take pictures by the car. I don't really necessarily meet you both. I don't want to make a deal out of it. I don't want to take a photo. I don't want to tell anyone. I don't want any hoo-ha. And I just said, look, in the end, I'm going to spend the evening with my family. I'm going to drink a bottle of wine. I'll leave the car at the pub. The keys are on the front wheel. The V5's in the dashboard. Help yourselves. Enjoy. And that's exactly what happened. So then I got a text message later that evening that was just like, he's over the moon. Thank you very much. He's 3 bits. You know, you've really made a difference. And I sat there with my bottle of wine being like, yeah, okay, cool. Did something nice there. But, do you know, like, and again, this is why I'd be no good in politics, because I do actually care. Like, I genuinely do want the best for people. And that's why I'm a politician, because the people in power, they don't, do they? They don't. And it was a decent car. Yeah, it was free. Getting a bit warmer here now. But yeah, that was, the whole thing was just, you know, like I said, I gave one car away. I wanted to give 149 cars away because there were that many people. And a lot of people in the comments were saying, oh, I bet your email inbox is full of, you know, people who are just trying to get a free car and people who do that for themselves. But again, I think this says a lot about my YouTube followers and about the audience that I've built here. That wasn't the case. There wasn't there was one email. There was one email from someone who was chancing it, and it was a funny email, and it was really like carefully written, and it was all about how he's a porn star, and actually he could really do with a nice car, so he could launch his OnlyFans from the back of it. And you know, in the context of what I was trying to do, you'd think, oh, don't waste my time by sending these stupid things if you're just trying to get the car. But I actually emailed back and I was like, do you know what? Thanks so much for sending that, because after reading 75 sobs, another 75 to go, this one about you launching OnlyFans from the back of the Saab really cheer up. So that person got an email and said, brilliant, I love it. But yeah, no, that was the thing. It was just difficult because, like, yeah, there wasn't a single person that emailed me chancing it. They were all genuine, and like I said, I really do feel like that says a lot about my sort of followers. And terrible use for it's just not working, is it? It's just, look, it's these clouds. It really is that simple. Yeah, so that's that was my experience of giving away a free car. Sounds like a nightmare over there. You can still get houses on acreage in the country here for 150,000 euros and a 4x4 utes for a couple of grand. I don't think you realise how big this place is. Are you in Australia or New Zealand? Yeah, I mean, I love the idea of it, but the thing is, both Australia and New Zealand are full on, like, they went all, like, Australia. Ian, do you realise that you no longer own your property in Australia? Your government recently changed the way the deeds work. So every single person in Australia is now effectively a leaseholder. You don't own the property. The Australian government stole it all about 2 weeks ago. If you have full signal strength, it can be congestion in the servers. Yeah, if you didn't know that about Australia, just dig into it. Yeah, they literally changed 2 words on a document and stole everybody's property from them. Happened in Australia just a few weeks ago. Don't move anywhere. We need to take back our country again. I'm not sure there's enough people that realise just how drastic the situation is. My Wi-Fi isn't switched on. I'll check it again now. Wi-Fi is not switched on. Unbelievable, isn't it? I've broadcasted from here plenty of times before, and yeah, it's just so frustrating that you just can't get a connection. Yeah, hilarious. I moved out of Melbourne to the Welsh countryside. Best decision we ever made. I'd like to do that. I wouldn't mind moving out to Wales. Geoff, 5G in Evesham. I've turned the phone to 4G only and it works. What's the best, cheap, run, maintain, reliable vehicle, etc. to go for? I've just bought one, or I will be buying one. Details will be on my YouTube next week. But basically, you need a something from the early 2000s that is in the £35 tax bracket and does 60 or 70 miles to the gallon. There's a short period where we had super economical diesels. The sun's almost coming out, but it's behind the clouds. For example, the Renault Clio 1.5 DC, don't know why I'm doing this. The Renault Clio 1.5 DCI, that's a good choice because they're 35 miles, they're £35 tax, and they can genuinely achieve 70 miles to the gallon. So something like that. You mean a pre-1985 Classic? Any of them, just not a big gas guzzler. Because if it's tax and MOT exempt, the most economical thing going to, I don't know, MGB, something like that's not going to be a bad shout. And they're relatively cheap to buy. I saw one the other day for 1,500 quid, tax and MOT exempt, and running and driving, it just looked like crap. It had, you know, the wrong seat, interior was knackered, and I've never been a big enough MG fan to want to do that. Geoff, give it 48 hours. That Labour councillor who made threats at that left rally recently is being sentenced today. If it's a light or soft sentence, things will be getting spicy again quickly. Wireless body area network, human augmentation. It's worrying, isn't it? There's an app called Electro Smart, which will help you identify and reduce exposure to RF sources, including Bluetooth. Again, that's what's pretty good about where we live. It is very, very rural. So I'd imagine there's not a lot out there. And wow, Stuart TV is just laughing at the connection. Mobile service has just come back. Honestly, that was ridiculous. How many people did we lose? It doesn't even work. It doesn't even work. Yeah, we lost more than 100 people there as it out. Just ridiculous. Right, I'm going to go do something else because this just isn't working today. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. And I'll see if I can do that video about the RAC and update you on all of that. Cool. Cheers for bearing with the broadcast. And I'll catch up with you all soon. Have a great day.